I think part of the reason for this focus now that institutional investors have on board composition is a result of some trends we've been seeing in the past couple of years. So in the United States, boards use retirement age to have turnover. And boards have increased their retirement age from 70 to 72 or 72 to 75. So what the institutional shareholders are seeing are longer tenured boards and older boards. And I think that that is a frustration to them when they think about what's going on in the world. Is it really sensible to have the same people on your board year in and year out? It's important to think about the context of board retirement in the United States. So let's just look at the S&P 500. Spencer Stuart has been doing a study of the S&P 500 for 27 years. And if you look at turnover, it is very small. So in a given year, it's probably around 7% of S&P 500 board seats change hands. So it is not a lot of turnover. And yet we live in a world where it's more global, where technology is changing, where how we communicate with customers is changing. So in a very fast-paced environment, we see very little turnover on U.S. boards. So what we see our more progressive boards doing and thinking about now as it relates to board recruitment and refreshment is they're starting to talk about it as an ongoing process. Instead of we have a retirement coming in 2 years' time, how do we recruit somebody for that spot? We even find now as boards bring on a new board member, they actually have a conversation, particularly with some of the younger directors who have digital experience or whatever, they may be 40 years old. Retirement age is 75. No one thinks they're going to stay for 35 years. And it's made boards think about that conversation and whether they should be talking to all new board members in that our sights are perhaps this is a 12-year kind of commitment versus this is a for-life commitment. That's a very different conversation than people had been having. One thing we're suggesting to our clients is to take a step back and think like an activist and look at your board and say, if I was an outsider looking at the information that's available to me, what would I think about this board? So that encompasses how you communicate to your shareholders in your proxy, what kind of information you give them about directors, but just also being very mindful about what people would expect to see in your boardroom given the strategy that your company has. In addition to what you have in writing, shareholders now are more interested in having conversations with directors about how they think about board composition. They cannot judge who is in that room and who is good or not, but they want to know that you are thinking about that. So the shareholders want to hear from you how you think about board composition, and that will give them great comfort so that they aren't just looking at what you have in the proxy and trying to decide whether somebody who's been there 11 years is independent or not. They want to know that you are asking those tough questions.